Joining again, Cam, Fernando, John Wallace. We gotta bring in our guy, Tommy Beer, the Forbes NBA analyst. It's always great to have you on, Tommy.
Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
Definitely, man. Sunday, it all goes down, right? I mean, 6 p.m. finally. It feels like we've been waiting for this moment to see if anything will pop off. But so many names, so many players, a lot of stuff coming out about players, maybe rumors, destinations, all of that stuff. And we'll leave that as that. But what have you been hearing in terms of certain players with free agency and what the plan is or contingency plan is for some teams?
Sure. I think obviously we're going to have to wait until, we still got 48 hours or so left now. We're getting towards the deadline. And I think there's the amazing thing is that I think a lot of players are still undecided. The KD sounds like Kyrie's headed to Brooklyn. That one seems like it's pretty much locked in, but the Knicks certainly haven't given up hope. Kawhi is certainly up for grabs. We just learned out just within the last hour or so that the Lakers have cleared $32 million, so that allows them to have a max cap space. Would Kawhi Leonard consider joining and making a triumvirate, Anthony Davis, LeBron in LA? So it's fascinating.
Wow.
Very interesting to see.
Tommy, you're here because of your proximity to the grapevine. There are people out there that they want to be in your position. They want to hear the rumors. I need to know how much misinformation is out there. That has to be a thing at this point. The industry is so massive.
100%. I mean, listen, you got obviously the teams are looking to improve their rosters this year, but agents are looking to get their clients money, and so when you hear, player X is, team Y is considering throwing a balloon payment at player X. Is that coming from the team? Is that coming from a general manager? Is that coming from an agent? Is that coming from a player's, one of his grouping? So it's very difficult to try to disengage what is actually actual information and what is actually valid information that we're hearing from teams that could play itself out. And again, even if a guy has made up his mind at this very moment, there's still 36 hours, 48 hours to go. Who's to say they won't change their mind in a day or two from now, or when they hear the pitch from the Knicks or the Lakers or whatever the case might be? So it's very difficult. I think it was difficult to predict 6 months ago where Kevin Durant's going to go. I think it's difficult to predict right now where Kevin Durant's going to go. So that's what makes it so fascinating.
You got to protect your reputation, I know, but does anybody get the good stuff, like your close friends, your family? Like,
well, yeah, my wife, who has no idea about anything. I'm trying.
She probably knows the most.
Absolutely.
She knows where KD's
or she's
going.
playing as if she doesn't know what's going on.
That too.
Unbelievable. What's her number?
Can't give that out.
All right. Fine.
So, Tommy, I want to talk about a free agent that no one's really talking about in terms of Bogdanovich. I thought he had a great year for Indiana, especially once Oladipo went down. He averaged 20 points a game, shot a true 62% from the field. Can you please speak on him? Because I think he's one of the guys that people aren't really talking about at all.
100%. I agree with you, John. I think there's going to be that first block of free agents that go off, and the KDs, the Kyries of the world. There's going to be those mid-tier guys, and I think teams that, the teams that tend to wait a little bit and see, how things shake out, if they can get their hands on one of those guys, I think Bogdanovich, exactly, for the Lakers who need shooting, would be a perfect fit. Efficient scorer, plays hard defensively. I heard the Spurs are interested in Bogdanovich. He's another name. They need to clear some cap space to get there, but he's one of the guys that's been on their list. I think there's a bunch of other players in that realm. Julius Randle's another guy. I think that's that undervalued, underrated, kind of tier that now, it will be interesting.
I know you just said the Lakers cleared some cap space. How were they able to do that? Because I know, the Bullock deal was still going to affect them, and no one really was talking about that. So they actually had $19 million instead of the $23 million because of Bullock. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Sure, absolutely. Just came down. Adrian Wojnarowski, the great Adrian Wojnarowski, ESPN just broke it recently. So what they're going to do is they're going to include Mo Wagner in the deal and a couple other small contracts that they had under, salary for next season in the deal with the Pelicans. Wagner's going to get shipped to Washington. He's going to absorb the Wizards are going to absorb that contract. Okay. And Anthony Davis has waived his trade kicker. He's waived that $4.1 million.
Okay.
So he waived that. So Lakers are going to enter Sunday, 6 o'clock, are going to have $32 million in cap space. That's about $700,000 short of a max slot. So, for instance, a guy like Kyrie Irving, you say only $700,000. When you amortize that and factor in the annual percentages over 4 years, that works out to about $3 million. So it's not chump change, but they're close enough there where guys say, hey, listen, I'm going to get to play with LeBron, et cetera. Is it Jimmy Butler? It's one of those guys I wouldn't be shocked if they decided, okay, give me a little bit less. I want to make a real run at a championship here with LeBron.
Okay.
Do you think it'll be a domino effect, Tommy, in terms of when 6 o'clock Sunday comes, you'll see maybe those first-tier guys start to make their decisions or join those teams and make the choice to play for them, and then that domino effect of, okay, now the second-tier guy and the third-tier guys. Will it be that, or will it be a waiting game?
I think that definitely once KD falls and Kawhi falls, those dominoes you'll see the ripple effects. But the situation is, Kawhi has promised the Raptors they'll get last dibs, so to speak. So he's going to meet with the Knicks. He's going to meet with the Clippers. It sounds like he's going to meet with the Lakers, and he's promised Toronto, I'm going to give you guys the last crack. So either they're going to fly out to LA or he's going to fly back to Toronto, whatever the case might be. So that's what. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning at the earliest?
Yeah.
Do other guys wait until those premium free agents fall, or do other teams wait for those top tier guys to fall and the other free agents kind of work their way into the mix, or does somebody else jump at D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, Bogdanovich, some along those lines? That might be something that we'll have to consider going forward.
Okay.
My head is spinning. By the way, this is complicated, and you're on top of it.
Your head is spinning. My head is spinning.
You're
My heart is
on top
spinning.
of this. But I have to ask, obviously things have gotten complicated since the cap has moved up. Sure. And then there are plans to move the cap up even more. Has this been getting more and more complicated as you've covered this? How has this changed for you in your position?
Absolutely, and I'm fascinated by the caps, the ins and outs of the collective bargaining agreement, because there's so many interesting ways. Daryl Morey has found ways to kind of tinker and work with, second round picks, signing those guys to 4-year deals with team options, and those are other things outside of, the typical. So yes, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you needed a talent evaluator, a guy that's going to say, I want player X, on my team. Let's get him. We have $7 million in cap space. We can sign. Now you need to figure out, okay, what's the best allocation of our resources? So do we sign guys with the trade kicker? Do we include an 8%, 5% increase on the contract? Or do you want to keep his contract flat, or have Aaron Gordon with the Magic last year sign a contract where his salary actually de-escalates? So it actually gets cheaper as time goes on. That's viewed as a favorable trade chip if you want to eventually move him down the line. So there's so much that goes on. You don't just need a talent evaluator anymore. You need a whole staff of analytics and guys that are willing to crunch the numbers and figure out exactly the best way to maximize all your cap space.
Do you want to be a GM?
Yes, you got a job offer? Let me know.
Fernando said that.
I'm down.
Are you the plug?
Let me know.
Into your eyes, I'm like, I'll hire you.
Listen, if you think that you're not going to get any sleep with this NBA free agency coming, then think about Tommy Beer. All right, this guy's all over the place. Outstanding Forbes NBA analyst.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.